Give me 15 seconds to explain this clip. So we had Thomas Wise come on for our show about contentment. And I just could not wait to share this clip. So please watch it and then tune in Thursday for the whole episode. Hope you enjoy.
He goes, likewise, he who was free when he is called is the bondservant of Christ. You were bought with the price. Do not become bondservants of men, which is what we do when we want all these things, and we're talking about materials or moments or these situations. So, brothers, in whatever condition each was called, there let him remain with God. And so as I'm going through Philippians, I think about contentment. And then Paul says this: no matter what situation you find yourself in, your focus is on the commandments of God, and you were bought with a price. And I don't know if you feel the same way, but I'm like, that blows my mind, because we get so distracted by, and, preachers fall into this. You have preachers that hop every couple years, and I never read into a tent, but sometimes when you get to know them and talk to them, it's just because it's not enough. It's never enough. No situation is good enough. And that's a struggle that not just preachers have, but we have as Christians and people have in general. And Paul says, don't worry about your situation. Be in God. You were bought with a price. Don't become bond servants of men. And I don't know if that's off topic or not, but First Corinthians 7 was and so some other things I have right here. So in First Timothy 6:6, he's talking about, I better read it so I don't misquote it. But godliness with contentment is great gain. You go to the context, he's talking about false teachers. Again, a situation with people involved. You go to 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 8. Again, he's talking about contentment there. Verse 8 says, and God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that having all sufficiency, it's the same word as contentment, or all contentment, in all things at all times you may abound in every good work. So when we're giving, we're supposed to be content. When we're dealing with false teachers, we're supposed to be content with this idea of sufficiency and satisfaction only in God. And then the last one that I have here, and this is literally just a reference in my Bible, was Hebrews 13, verse 5. Keep your life free from money, from the love of money, and be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. You're in a book where the Christians are falling away, going back to Judaism. They wanted a different situation. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be. And here as the book ends, he talks about being content there. And so as I was preparing for the topic, I was like, there's this idea of sometimes it revolves around stuff. But I think more often than not, it's the situation we find ourselves in that we're not satisfied with. And that's probably one of the biggest traps of not being content. And you see it in book after book and verse after verse, where God, through the inspired writers, are trying to get them to see your situation in this world does not matter. Be faithful. And so you go back to the passage in Philippians. He says, whatever I find, wherever I'm at, I have learned the secret. I can do all things in this life through Christ who strengthens me. And that's how we miss it. Our situation isn't what we want it to be. And, the Bible's pretty clear about going through that and saying, you need to remain focused. You need to remain focused. This world's going to pass away. Remember who you are and who you belong to.